I feel like outside of being electrocuted, you'd pretty much do anything.
Oh, me?
Yeah, so I feel like so then everyone's
fear of being electrocuted.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant Punk.
What's going on?
Welcome to Restaurant Punk.
Welcome to Restaurant Punk.
Okay.
You guys are my favorite people to be with on Restaurant Punk. No
You
offense.
liar.
No offense to the rest of the people in the room.
Right, your $5. Here you go. Thanks.
Pay me later.
Okay, and now we're talking about crystals. Part one.
And this is why you guys are my favorite.
Let's talk about this.
Oh, my God.
You own a restaurant.
Okay.
Let's talk about trash in the surrounding area. And it's particularly if you have outdoor seating. So I'm thinking from a server perspective, from an employee's perspective, and then from an owner perspective, right?
Right.
Because as an employee, people are going to pretend they don't see it.
Right.
Oh, that's stuff that's accumulating, and that's part of the landscaping.
Weird.
That's just part of the
We're gonna
aesthetics
spray
here.
green.
That bottle came with the building.
I'd rather spray it green than pick it up. Like,
All right, let's go.
Wait, I feel like you had
All right,
like a
so-
two-part. I feel like you were going somewhere with that.
well, because I was working one time
Uh-huh.
in one of the restaurants, and there was outdoor seating, and one of the servers, my favorites, was like, "Oh, so much trash outside." And the customers are complaining, and she's going on. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, then pick it up,
Then
bitch.
control it.
Then pick it up. So then clearly she wasn't going to because she was busy on her phone. So then I went outside and just started like hands and knees, like going through.
Right.
It was kind of gross because there was like hair, like after, because everyone's sitting out there and the hair is
Right, it's all
building
kinda
up.
gets built
It's
up
getting
and-
tangled in
yeah.
trash. And then there's just like a lot of stuff. You don't
So-
realize how much stuff. And
Yeah.
then you,
I just
you don't-
visualized
how do you-
hairballs.
You don't, because you're in there every day, you don't
Well-
notice it. But
well-
a guest would notice it.
Yeah. So one of the things that are really important when you're dealing with something like that is a schedule.
Yes.
So every day you send somebody out there and it's your job to make sure that the trash is like maintained. If you have grounds, if you have property, you send somebody out there, sweep up the rocks, take out the weeds, and then you make it people's jobs every day to put it on some kind of rotating schedule for yourself. Now, as the owner, that the shit is building up. So you make it a point to point shit out to people because they will ignore it. They're not
Yeah.
going to do it on their own right away. Not always. But you point things out, you put everything on rotation, and then slowly, the job gets done. It stays maintained and it becomes a habit.
Right,
Once
true.
good habits are formed, then it's consistently getting done.
wax on,
But you
wax
have
off.
to continue. Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
but you have to continually.
That is how he teaches. That is
But
how he.
you have to continually,
does it.
just keep going over all of these little things, and it takes time. It's hard to get a handle over like everything, but that's why doing it every day, something, be it your grounds or be it, inside or however you're maintaining your things, it's really important. And then, like I said, eventually it becomes habit, and then people automatically start doing that, and then they feel good because it's a reflection of the place that you're working. So this way you can take pride in the place that you're working.
Well, whose job is it?
It's everybody's job.
Everybody's.
Right. I mean, you think,
Yeah.
yes, but as you're starting to assign it, right, do you assign it to, not a certain position exclusively, different
Right.
positions?
So I don't necessarily know if I would, have somebody that was in, like the kitchen cooking go out and, maintain the grounds. I might send a server out today. Maybe the prep guy goes out tomorrow, does make sure it's the,
I was
rock
going to
lines
ask,
or,
if you rotate
however.
departments,
Yeah.
right?
You
Like
can
front of
rotate
house has
different things.
Monday, prep has Tuesday,
Well, I mean,
kitchen has Wednesday.
it's all pieces, right? And in a restaurant, there's different stations, there's different areas, there's different parts, there's different components. Every component is important. Every person in those stations are responsible for also ensuring that their area and their jurisdiction is maintained, composed, clean, neat, and organized. That's my perspective of it. So I don't necessarily know if I would say, okay, you're like a kitchen person, so go out and do the rocks.
Right.
To me, that doesn't really seem. It seems like it crossed over wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because kitchen should be maintaining the kitchen, the organization of inventory, the management of how everything functions in terms of where all of your stock is inside the kitchen, cleanliness, those kinds of things, like those minor details. And that's really where they should be focusing on. Whereas you have your prep person, maybe they organize the basement, they stay on top of that. Maybe you have another person around that does more like trash and maintenance kind of work. And,
Right.
you put those people to those kinds of tasks. And then you have your serving and staff, and then they should be responsible too for the overall atmosphere of certain
Right.
things.
I find that a lot of servers in a lot of different restaurants, they're like, that's not my job.
There's a lot of servers who
Right.
are like,
Well-
oh, I have to sweep at the end of the night. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it is your job.
Right.
And you will do it. Because if you don't do it, there will be somebody else that will want to come here and be very happy to,
Right.
do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know?
it's one of those things too, where I can see where, for instance, like where certain buildings are, like, and you have leading neighbors, and the neighbor, like,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like no
it's-
matter how
yeah,
much
sure.
you try, like, it's hard because if it's one thing if you're like a sole property, right, and like you just take care of your property,
Right.
but when you're butting up to so many different businesses, and it's like,
Sure.
no matter like it's a constant wheelhouse to where you're like, I feel like I'm picking up after everybody around you, but that's also like.
Right. It's like having a
That sucks,
sloppy
but
neighbor.
you exactly. It sucks, but you got to do it.
Right.
It's your street front. Like that is when people go window shopping. If you look like shit out front, like why are we gonna go? I think it's one of those things to where I don't know. There even like whatever. I feel like I went on vacation. I left like a detailed list, like whoever's working Monday, you're in charge of XYZ. Whoever's working Tuesday. When I came back, I threw that out, and
noticed.
suddenly. Because also the piece
I
of
was
paper,
looking for it.
The piece of paper was also just like really gross and janky.
yeah.
Like it got dropped 10 times in the trash, and people kept putting it back
Right.
up. Like it looked gross. So I was like, let me just throw this out, and with the intention of I'm going to print another one and bring
Right.
it back. And it's crazy how just having that schedule posted, everybody kept up with it, like
Right.
at all times. And those were just little things that I would do on the daily basis, and I didn't ask any of my servers to do.
Right.
Like even down to watering the plants in the front window or cleaning out the front window or,
Yeah.
deep cleaning the espresso machine or whatever. Like I
Right.
would just naturally do that.
Right. But that's
and-
too like realizing, as an owner that you're not too good to do that. That is, you're the owner,
Yeah.
right? And you see something that needs to get done. Okay. Maybe other people are busy or whatever. You can go in there as the owner and you can also, do things in your own store. You don't have to
Absolutely.
just, bury your staff in all this stuff.
No,
Yeah,
but I think it also comes to an extent to where like then nobody took responsibility for I also want my staff to take responsibility and pride in
But-
like if you guys don't take care of this espresso machine, it's gonna take a shit. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean?
But sometimes too, sometimes people just don't see it the same way. So sometimes people need to be shown something, or you need to bring it to their attention in some kind of way and teach them how to see the things that you're looking at.
Of course.
Because you, as an owner or anybody that owns something, you're going to see 100 different things that your employees aren't going to see, and that's normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Nobody
it's-
knows what it really takes or what goes into it
Right.
until you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right, but the main goal is to try to relay some of your vision onto your employees and teach them how to see certain things that that they're not seeing. And then once they see it, they're like, "Oh, okay, I know what you mean now."
Right.
You know what, you're right. It does look like shit. Let me take care of that. So it's about relating with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well-
like I said, I just feel like with what you said, like creating a daily like schedule and system in place, and it's kind of like a daily reminder of like, hey, this is your job. Like this, you guys need to go out and again hold up the integrity of this place and kind of just like instilling that, because it was never like you guys aren't doing enough, blah blah. It was more so
Right.
again, I did the introduction of, hey, I'm going to be out of town. These are things that I do every week. If you guys can just keep up with them while I'm gone, like, and I don't want to put it all on the Tuesday person. So
Right.
even down
Yeah.
to the tasks, I put like one tedious one and then one stupid easy one,
Right.
like on everybody's days. So that way it never felt
Right.
overbearing.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, I do want to keep up with this. And this does make a difference. And
But I mean, like, one thing too that I always try to do is there isn't anything that I would ask somebody that I wouldn't do
Yes.
myself. Like if I wouldn't do it myself, I would never ask another member of like the staff to do that.
Of
like if I
course.
feel uncomfortable with it, I'm not going to put somebody else in that position. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like outside of being electrocuted, you'd pretty much do anything.
Oh, me?
Yeah. So I feel like then everyone.
the fear of being electrocuted.
So what I'm saying is everyone would be expected to do everything because I don't see him
No,
in
but-
anything being beneath him.
Yeah.
I think He
Right.
might even be okay with being electrocuted, honestly, if it was just a little.
Sure.
Yeah, but I try to make sure that people are safe with whatever they're doing. I'm not going to be like I'm not going to stick anybody be like, yeah, get in the hood, come on, get in, climb in there.
You
like,
can-
I'm not
you
stuff-
can do
I'm not
it.
I'm not going to
You
shove people
got
up there.
it.
But I might make you at the end of the night, we might turn the grill off. You might stand on the grill and you'll get the spray bottles and you'll wipe all that shit out. And I'll be up there with you,
Right.
with the rags and the stuff, and we'll get it done. But I wouldn't just start pushing people in
Right.
like random places that
Right.
it's
Yeah.
unsafe for them.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But I mean, anything that I ask anybody to do, I do, or I would do, or I'm gonna help you with.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's where, like, as an owner, I kind of, again, like, I would, if people saw me come in the room, it wasn't like, oh, Noelle's here, like, let's get in line or let's do this. He'd be like, hey, by the way, out back, we need this. And I'm like, damn, I felt like I almost did too much to where I'm like, you guys simply just serve.
Right.
Just serve.
Right.
To where I felt this like relief of like, wow, people are sticking to the schedule. Like I made the schedule and at least my staff respects me enough to uphold it and
Right.
keep like
Right.
true to it. And I'm like, damn, I feel like if I just guide them, and I remember talking to one of the servers and educating them on the espresso machine. And I'm like, in training, I tell you, empty this, do this, do this. But like when it comes to really deep cleaning it, we have to, because then the sensors, if you're not cleaning it often,
Right.
they'll start to glitch. And then from there, like this $2,000 machine is worthless. Like
Yeah.
we got to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, like I, in her mind, not even thinking about it, taking that little milk hose off and looking at it. And it's like, if you see, you have to run that, not just once every night. Like I run it 3 times and I tell people run it 3 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Get that hot water like going through it, because
Actually, it
would
was
you
really-
want mildew?
It was really
Yeah.
cute. One time we had somebody working with us, and for some reason, I don't know what, it was a kitchen guy, and he just got really obsessed with making sure that espresso machine was clean. So he would go and he would like set up like a little thing of cleaner, and he would like have his hose, and he'd be like, guys,
Yes.
put the hose. Look, I'll show you. And he's like disconnecting the hose. And he's like, and then it goes in here. And he's like explaining it to me. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then look, if you could slide this piece out. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and you see like back there all this stuff. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, we can clean it. And I was like, yeah, we can.
Let's do
Let's
it.
clean it. Let's do it. I love it. Yeah, but it was so cute, because he had like the little thing, and then he labeled the espresso machine, and it was like clean daily, and then it was like empty water, and he had like little labels all over it. I don't know. It was just like one of those things where it's like he, for some reason, that was just his thing. And
he took it
grabbed
under his
yeah.
wing.
He was like, this is my baby espresso machine. It better be clean. Yep.
God.
And then he
Man
would-
never drank a cup of coffee in his
yeah,
life.
and then I'm okay, fine. I'm guilty sometimes of forgetting stuff too. So like I would come in the morning and he'd be like, nobody emptied the coffee grounds out of the espresso machine last
my
night.
God.
And I would just be like, I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry. I will take responsibility for this.
Yeah.
because I
didn't look. Yeah, I didn't
look,
check.
and I will clean this. You're right. My mistake. Yeah, but it was funny. But I like seeing that kind of stuff. When people do take some type of initiative to maintain things.
Yeah.
Because it's a joint effort. You
Yeah.
can't do it by yourself.
No.
It takes a whole team of people that want it to be something more.
Right.
But you have to guide people to be able to help them to help the place.
Hey,
True.
just like that.
And that is that.
That is it. So pick up your trash, kids.
Pick up your trash. Yes.
Stop littering. We're in a
Don't
coastal
litter.
town.
Yeah.
Yes. Take pride.
Take some pride.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Restaurant Pop.
Restaurant Punk. We're out.
Out. Is that your new exit?
We're out. Are we ready?
Getting there.
Everybody's shitting all over my sweater.
What you got? What do you want?